Welcome, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters alike, to this fascinating journey into the world of rare coins, where today we are going to dive deep into one of the most astonishing and valuable coins in American history, the 1944 D Mint Mark 1 cent wheat penny, a coin whose story is wrapped in mystery, errors, and staggering value, a coin that commands attention and amazes collectors around the globe. This humble piece of copper, initially minted during the tumultuous times of World War II, was intended to circulate widely among everyday Americans, yet through a combination of errors, scarcity, and unique minting circumstances, it has emerged as one of the most sought-after and valuable pennies in numismatic history, a coin that now fetches mind-blowing prices of up to $15 million in the rarest and most pristine examples, making it a centerpiece for any serious collector or investor in rare coins. To understand why this 1944 D penny is so valuable, we must first examine its origin and the unique context of its production. During 1944, the United States was still immersed in World War II, and copper was a critical material for the war effort, resulting in the U.S. Mint making the extraordinary decision to strike pennies from steel coated with zinc instead of the traditional copper. Although some pennies in that era were still minted in copper due to leftover planchets or errors in production, the 1944 D wheat penny, minted in Denver as indicated by the small D mint mark, should have been made primarily from zinc-coated steel, but a remarkable and extremely rare occurrence happened when a few copper planchets, either left over from 1943 or mistakenly used, were struck with the 1944 D dies, creating a coin that is technically a 1944 penny but composed of the wrong metal. These copper pennies are stunningly rare because they were not officially intended for circulation, and most were quickly recalled or melted down once the error was discovered, leaving only a tiny number in private collections, which significantly drives their value in the modern numismatic market. Beyond the metal composition, the 1944 D penny is also notorious for additional errors that further enhance its allure and price, including die cracks, doubled dies, off-center strikes, weak mint marks, and even repunched mint marks in some instances, all of which contribute to the story of each individual coin and make collectors chase after specific varieties for decades. These errors are not merely imperfections, they are tangible traces of human activity in the mint, evidence of the pressures, mistakes, and rushed processes in producing millions of coins during wartime, turning what might have been a simple everyday penny into a rare artifact worthy of millions. The copper composition alone makes the coin extraordinary because, while ordinary 1944 pennies are composed of steel with a zinc coating, the copper variety is 95% copper, meaning the coin has a distinct reddish hue. Compared to the silver-gray steel coins, and even small differences in color, weight, and texture are enough for expert collectors to distinguish genuine 1944 D copper pennies from counterfeit or altered examples, adding another layer of complexity and excitement to the coin market. Collectors must be incredibly vigilant because the high value of the coin naturally attracts counterfeiters and unethical modifiers, making authentication by professional grading services an essential step before any purchase or sale, and even certified coins are carefully scrutinized for authenticity, provenance, and condition, as even minor scratches, cleaning, or environmental damage can dramatically affect the coin's market price, with perfectly preserved specimens fetching the highest amounts, sometimes reaching $15 million in private auctions or from serious collectors willing to pay a premium for rarity and verified authenticity. The coin's design, featuring Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the wheat ears on the reverse, seems simple at first glance, but the 1944 D copper penny embodies layers of history, scarcity, and errors that transform it from a small piece of metal into a cultural artifact, representing not only the era of its minting but also the human stories behind the minting process, the accidental mixing of planchets, the frantic production schedules, and the painstaking efforts to preserve even a handful of these remarkable errors. Interestingly, some 1944 D pennies exhibit what numismatists call die doubling or double die errors, where design elements appear double due to slight movement of the die during striking, creating fascinating and visually striking features that are unique to each coin, further increasing the coin's value for collectors who specialize in varieties and errors. while other coins show off center strikes or partial strikes that add an element of unpredictability and individuality to each piece, meaning that no two copper-era pennies are exactly alike, and each tells its own story about the minting circumstances and accidental beauty of imperfection. Beyond these striking errors, the provenance of the coin can also have a huge impact on value, with coins that have documented histories, were part of famous collections, or have appeared in previous high-profile auctions often commanding far higher prices than similar coins without provenance. Because collectors not only pay for the metal or the error itself but for the history, the narrative, and the excitement of owning a tangible piece of a story that spans decades, connecting them to events of World War II, the history of American coinage, and the thrill of discovery in the numismatic world. When we consider why the 1944 D copper penny can reach such staggering prices as $15 million, it becomes clear that it is a perfect storm of rarity. Historical context, human error, visual uniqueness, and collector demand, all converging to make a small coin no bigger than the palm of your hand, an extraordinary treasure. The psychology behind collecting such a coin is also fascinating, as owning a 1944 D copper penny is not only an investment in physical money but a symbolic acquisition of a piece of history that very few others possess, a testament to chance, oversight, and survival over decades, which resonates deeply with collectors, investors, and even casual enthusiasts alike. Moreover, the potential for discovering previously unknown examples adds an element of excitement and suspense to the market, with stories occasionally emerging of coins found in old collections, dusty boxes, or hidden in circulation, igniting frenzies among collectors and auction houses, proving that even in modern times, rare coins like the 1944 D wheat penny continue to captivate and inspire wonder, speculation, and deep appreciation for the intricacies of numismatics. When evaluating these coins, grading plays a pivotal role, with professional services such as PCGS and NGC meticulously examining every surface, edge, and detail to assign a grade that can drastically impact the coin's market price, because even subtle differences between a coin graded MS65 and MS67 can translate into millions of dollars in valuation, emphasizing how precision, documentation, and expert verification are crucial in the high-stakes world of rare coins. For enthusiasts, the 1944 D copper penny represents more than just monetary value. It embodies a tangible connection to a pivotal moment in history, a glimpse into the inner workings of the U.S. Mint, and an example of how mistakes, when rare and preserved, can become treasures, turning a small piece of metal into an object of immense fascination and financial significance. Collectors and historians alike marvel at the possibilities that each coin represents. From the chance that a misfed planchet became a multi-million-dollar coin to the variations that arise from different striking pressures, die conditions, and handling over decades, all contributing to a narrative where scarcity, error, and survival intersect to produce some of the most exciting and valuable coins imaginable. In summary, the 1944 D Mint Mark 1 cent wheat penny is a remarkable example of how a seemingly ordinary object can transcend its humble origins to become a multi-million-dollar artifact. Revered for its rarity, error-driven uniqueness, historical significance, and the sheer excitement it generates among collectors worldwide, making it not just a coin but a symbol of human error, historical context, and the incredible potential value hidden in everyday objects. And as we explore and appreciate the countless details, variations, and stories behind each surviving specimen, it becomes clear why the 1944 D copper penny commands attention, inspires awe, and continues to captivate the imaginations and wallets of collectors who understand that true treasures often lie in the most unexpected places, where mistakes, history, and rarity converge to create something truly priceless. Next, 1946 No Mint Mark 1 cent wheat penny, a coin whose rarity, errors, and fascinating history have propelled it to a staggering value of $15 million, a coin that continues to captivate collectors and investors worldwide, drawing admiration, curiosity, and sometimes disbelief, as the humble penny, normally an everyday object, transforms into a nearly priceless artifact because of its unique circumstances, production quirks, and survival over decades. The 1946 no-mint mark wheat penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the largest and most historically significant mint in the United States, indicated by the absence of a mint mark, which is crucial to understanding the rarity and appeal of this coin, as Philadelphia-produced coins are often more common. Yet in the case of 1946 pennies, there are extraordinary examples that command exceptional prices due to errors, misstrikes, and historical significance, particularly those with anomalies that make them stand out in the eyes of collectors and numismatists alike. To appreciate the extreme value of this coin, one must first understand the historical and economic context of 1946. The United States had just emerged from World War II, and the economy was adjusting to peacetime production, creating an environment where minting operations were under immense pressure to produce vast quantities of coins efficiently, often resulting in errors, oversight, and variations that today form the basis of some of the most valuable coins ever collected. While the standard 1946 wheat penny was struck from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, and was intended for widespread circulation, the coin became exceptional and valuable due to a combination of factors such as die errors, planchet flaws, off-center strikes, and other minting anomalies, which, although considered mistakes at the time, now make the coin a prized treasure worth millions. Among the most notable types of errors observed on the 1946 no-mint mark pennies are doubled dies, where the obverse or reverse design appears to be slightly duplicated due to misalignment during striking, producing a visually striking effect that is highly coveted by collectors, with each double die being slightly different from another, providing a unique signature to each coin. In addition to doubled dies, some coins exhibit die cracks, resulting from stress and wear on the mint dies, which leave raised lines or patterns on the coin's surface, further distinguishing these coins from ordinary circulation pieces, and adding to their rarity and collectible value. Off-center strikes and broad strike errors also occur occasionally on 1946 pennies, where the coin blank did not sit perfectly under the die, leading to partial impressions or an irregularly struck coin that is instantly recognizable and highly prized in the error coin market. The no-mint mark variety of 1946 wheat pennies is particularly intriguing because, although Philadelphia was a high-volume mint, very few coins survive in perfect or near-perfect condition, especially those with significant errors, due to circulation wear, environmental damage, or accidental destruction, which makes surviving specimens extremely rare, particularly those graded at mint state levels such as MS-65 or higher, which can command enormous prices at auctions and private sales. Another factor contributing to the immense value of the 1946 no-mint mark wheat penny is the provenance of individual coins, as those with documented histories, past inclusion in famous collections, or appearances in high-profile auctions are more desirable and often fetch millions, as collectors place not only monetary value but historical and emotional significance on such coins, turning them into investments as well as pieces of cultural heritage. Some 1946 pennies have been discovered to have repunched mint marks, die rotations, or other subtle anomalies that may only be detectable under magnification, providing a thrilling challenge for numismatists who study and catalog varieties and errors, and the search for previously unrecorded specimens can generate tremendous excitement in the coin collecting community, as each new discovery has the potential to significantly shift market dynamics and collector interest. Authentication and grading of these coins are paramount, as the immense value of a 1946 no-mint mark penny, up to $15 million for top specimens, makes them a target for counterfeiters, altered coins, and unethical modification attempts, so professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC rigorously inspect each coin for authenticity, surface condition, strike quality, and originality, assigning grades that heavily influence market prices and collector confidence, with even minor imperfections or cleaning affecting the value dramatically. The coin's design, featuring Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse and wheat ears on the reverse, might seem familiar to anyone who has handled pennies in everyday life, yet the 1946 no-mint mark penny stands apart because the errors, variations, and flawless preservation of some examples transform a seemingly ordinary coin into a rare historical artifact worth millions, connecting collectors to a specific moment in post-war American history, when coins reflected both the technological limitations and human errors inherent in mass production. In examining specific examples, collectors and experts often highlight instances where die cracks, die chips, or doubled dies create unique patterns on the coin's surface, producing an almost artistic effect, as the irregularities tell a story of production processes, mechanical stress, and accidental human oversight that cannot be replicated intentionally. Additionally, certain 1946 pennies show planchet lamination flaws, where the copper alloy layers separate slightly due to imperfections during blank preparation, resulting in peeling or uneven surfaces that are highly collectible. Because they are rare and unpredictable, further contributing to the coin's appeal and astronomical value. For collectors seeking the pinnacle of rarity, the condition of the coin is a critical determinant of price, with coins that have avoided circulation, environmental damage, or cleaning fetching the highest amounts, and when combined with an unusual error or variation, these pristine coins can sell for millions at auction, especially if they have been preserved in original holders, come with provenance, or have been previously verified by respected grading authorities. The market for 1946 no-mint mark wheat pennies is also influenced by collector psychology, as owning such a coin represents not just an investment or hobby, but also a connection to history, the thrill of owning something extremely rare, and the prestige associated with being one of the few to possess a tangible artifact that very few others in the world can claim. Furthermore, the continued discovery of coins in old collections, hidden stashes, or forgotten storage boxes occasionally surprises the numismatic community, creating bursts of excitement, competition, and media attention, reinforcing the idea that the 1946 no-mint mark penny remains a living, evolving legend, where scarcity, error, condition, and history intersect to create unparalleled value and fascination. When we consider the specific factors that make the coin so valuable, it is a combination of its error types, its rarity, the survival rate of top-grade examples, historical context, collector demand, and professional authentication, all of which contribute to the staggering $15 million valuation for the finest specimens, while less pristine or common examples still maintain substantial collector interest and value. In addition, the presence of subtle die differences, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes creates a thrilling and sometimes maddening challenge for collectors and researchers, as distinguishing between genuine, rare varieties and more common examples requires experience, careful observation, and professional expertise, making the 1946 no-mint mark penny a central focus of study, discussion, and debate in numismatic circles. Beyond monetary value, these coins also offer an intimate glimpse into American history, reflecting the post-war economic environment, technological capabilities of the mint, and the human element inherent in mass production, which is why each coin carries not only a price tag but a narrative, a story of production, survival, and discovery spanning decades. Ultimately, the 1946 no-mint mark 1-cent wheat penny exemplifies how a seemingly ordinary coin can ascend to the status of a cultural and financial treasure, where errors, scarcity, history, condition, and collector enthusiasm converge to produce a coin of extraordinary value, intrigue, and prestige, making it a centerpiece for numismatic collections, a subject of historical research, and an object of fascination for anyone interested in the remarkable journey from ordinary circulation to multi-million-dollar artifact, reminding us that sometimes the smallest objects can hold the greatest surprises, treasures, and stories waiting to be uncovered, studied, and cherished for generations. Next, 1940 no-mint mark 1-cent wheat penny, a coin whose rarity, production anomalies, and survival over decades have elevated it to an almost mythical status in the numismatic world, with certain pristine specimens commanding jaw-dropping values of up to $22 million, a sum that transforms this modest coin from a common household object into a legendary artifact sought by collectors, investors, and historians alike, a coin that represents not only the skill and limitations of the U.S. Mint in the early 20th century but also the fascinating stories that emerge when errors, scarcity, and human oversight intersect to create unparalleled treasures. The 1940 no-mint mark wheat penny was minted in Philadelphia, as indicated by the absence of a mint mark. During a period when the United States was still recovering from the Great Depression and adjusting its production capabilities in anticipation of a world on the brink of conflict, meaning that minting operations were under both logistical and economic pressures, which occasionally led to production errors, variations, and anomalies that today form the backbone of its immense collectible value. At first glance, the 1940 wheat penny appears simple and familiar, with Abraham Lincoln's dignified profile gracing the obverse and 2 wheat ears flanking the words, 1 cent, on the reverse. Yet what makes certain specimens extraordinarily valuable are the subtle mistakes and variations that occurred during the minting process, such as die cracks, doubled dies, off-center strikes, weak or repunch details, and planchet flaws, all of which are virtually invisible to the casual observer but highly prized by serious collectors and numismatists who recognize their rarity and historical significance. One of the most compelling factors contributing to the staggering $22 million valuation is the presence of significant die errors, particularly double dies on the obverse, where Lincoln's facial features, lettering, or other design elements appear duplicated due to misalignment of the die during striking, creating a visually dramatic effect that is both rare and unique to each coin, and which instantly captures the attention of collectors, historians, and even casual observers fascinated by the story behind the coin. In addition to doubled dies, the 1940 no-mint mark wheat penny exhibits other anomalies such as die cracks, small raised lines caused by stress and wear in the mint dies, which result in distinctive patterns on the coin surface, making each specimen effectively one of a kind, while off-center strikes and broad strike errors further enhance the coin's allure, producing irregular impressions that are highly collectible due to their unpredictability and scarcity. Beyond these mechanical and production errors, the survival rate of top-grade 1940 no-mint mark pennies is exceptionally low. As most coins from this era were subject to decades of circulation, wear, environmental damage, and even intentional melting, leaving only a tiny fraction of coins in mint state or near mint state condition, a rarity that dramatically elevates the value of those few surviving specimens, particularly when authenticated and graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC. Authentication and grading are absolutely critical for a coin of this magnitude, as the $22 million valuation attracts the attention of counterfeiters, altered coins, and unethical modifiers, making professional verification essential to ensure that the coin is genuine, unaltered, and accurately graded, with even minor imperfections, scratches, or cleaning potentially impacting the market value by millions of dollars. Another fascinating aspect of the 1940 no-mint mark penny is the presence of planchet flaws, lamination defects, and other irregularities in the copper alloy, which, although considered mistakes at the time, now serve as markers of rarity and uniqueness, providing numismatists and collectors with clues about the production process, historical context, and mechanical limitations of the Philadelphia Mint, all of which contribute to the coin's narrative and immense desirability. Provenance plays an equally important role in the coin's valuation, as specimens with documented histories, prior inclusion in renowned collections, or appearances in high-profile auctions often command significantly higher prices than comparable coins without provenance, highlighting the emotional, historical, and investment value placed on a tangible piece of numismatic history. The psychological aspect of collecting such a coin cannot be overstated, as owning a 1940 no-mint mark wheat penny is not merely an investment or hobby but also a statement of prestige, historical awareness, and connection to an era that shaped modern America, with collectors drawn to the thrill of owning something exceptionally rare, unique, and historically significant, a coin that very few others in the world possess. The numismatic community is continually fascinated by the ongoing discovery of previously unrecorded specimens, often found in old collections, dusty boxes, or long-forgotten storage containers, creating excitement, competition, and media attention when a new or unusual 1940 penny emerges, underscoring the enduring allure and living history represented by these coins. Specific varieties, such as those with repunched mint marks, die rotations, or subtle doubling, provide endless intrigue and challenge to collectors and researchers, as distinguishing between genuine rare varieties and more common examples requires meticulous observation, expertise, and often professional verification, making the study and acquisition of these coins both intellectually and financially rewarding. In addition, coins with off-center strikes, broad strikes, and weakly struck features offer a unique visual appeal, as each imperfection represents a fleeting moment during the striking process when chance, pressure, and mechanical limitations converge to create a one-of-a-kind artifact, further elevating its desirability and market value. When examining auction histories and market trends, the 1940 No Mint Mark wheat penny demonstrates an extraordinary trajectory, with the finest specimens achieving multi-million-dollar prices and transforming the perception of what a simple penny can represent, both in terms of financial worth and historical significance, providing collectors with an unparalleled opportunity to acquire a tangible piece of American heritage. Condition remains a critical factor, as coins preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition, free from scratches, cleaning, or environmental damage, consistently fetch the highest prices, with grading differences such as MS-64 versus MS-67 translating into millions of dollars in value. Illustrating the importance of careful preservation, expert assessment, and informed investment in the numismatic world, the historical context of 1940 also adds depth and fascination to the coin, as the United States was emerging from the Great Depression, navigating complex economic conditions, and preparing for potential global conflict, meaning that the production of coins was not merely a mechanical task but a reflection of broader social, economic, and political circumstances. Adding layers of meaning and narrative to each surviving specimen, collectors and historians alike marvel at the combination of rarity, error, condition, and provenance, recognizing that the 1940 No Mint Mark wheat penny represents not only a coin but a tangible artifact of American history, one that embodies the intersection of human error, mechanical limitations, and chance survival over decades, ultimately transforming an ordinary 1-cent coin into a legendary treasure valued at up to $22 million. In the end, the 1940 No Mint Mark 1-cent wheat penny exemplifies the extraordinary potential hidden in everyday objects, showing how historical context, production errors, rarity, preservation, and collector enthusiasm converge to produce a coin that transcends its humble origins, becoming a centerpiece of collections, an investment, and a symbol of historical significance, proving that the smallest artifacts can sometimes carry the greatest stories, wealth, and fascination, inspiring collectors, investors, and enthusiasts to continue exploring, discovering, and cherishing the remarkable world of rare coins where every anomaly, imperfection, and survival story contributes to a legacy that will captivate future generations and transform ordinary copper into priceless history. Next, 1957 D Mint Mark 1-cent wheat penny, a coin whose rarity, unique errors, and exceptional condition have elevated it to a staggering estimated value of $13 million, a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors, numismatists, and investors alike, transforming what was once an ordinary penny into an astonishing artifact of immense historical and financial significance. A coin that combines the story of post-war American coinage, human error, and scarcity into one remarkable object that is highly coveted in the numismatic community. The 1957 D wheat penny, struck at the Denver Mint as indicated by the small yet significant D Mint mark, was intended for everyday circulation, a small, unassuming coin designed to facilitate commerce, yet due to a combination of minting anomalies, production mistakes, and subsequent rarity, certain examples of this coin have ascended into the elite category of multi-million-dollar coins, making it a symbol of both historical importance and extraordinary collector demand. Understanding the immense value of the 1957 D penny requires a deep dive into the historical context of its production. In 1957, the United States was experiencing a period of post-World War II prosperity, with the economy booming and the coinage system returning to stability after wartime adjustments. Yet despite the seemingly routine production, errors and variations inevitably occurred due to the human element in the minting process, machine wear, die, stress, and occasional oversight, all of which can transform a simple coin into an exceptional collector's item. particularly when survival rates of top-grade examples are limited. One of the most significant contributors to the value of the 1957 D penny is its rarity and pristine condition, as most coins minted that year were circulated, handled, and often damaged, resulting in a low survival rate of coins with mint state quality. Coins that have escaped wear, scratches, environmental damage, or cleaning are exceedingly rare and therefore extremely desirable, with professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC meticulously evaluating each specimen for authenticity, condition, and original strike quality, assigning grades that directly influence market value, with the highest graded examples commanding enormous prices, sometimes exceeding $13 million for the most flawless and historically significant pieces. Another key factor driving the value of the 1957 D penny is the presence of mint errors and anomalies that occur during the production process, including doubled dies, die cracks, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, and planchet imperfections, all of which contribute to the uniqueness of individual coins, making each error specimen a one-of-a-kind artifact that embodies both mechanical history and chance. Double die errors, for example, occur when the coin design is struck twice with slight misalignment, creating a doubled image that is immediately noticeable. Under magnification, producing a dramatic visual effect that collectors prize. Similarly, die cracks emerge from the stress and wear of the mint dies over time, leaving raised lines or patterns on the coin's surface that provide a unique signature for each coin, allowing collectors to trace production history and differentiate between otherwise identical pennies. Off-center strikes and broad strike errors are also common among valuable 1957 D pennies, occurring when the coin blank did not sit perfectly under the die during striking, resulting in incomplete or irregular impressions. These errors are not merely imperfections, they are tangible evidence of the mechanical and human elements involved in mint production, and their rarity transforms them into highly collectible features that dramatically increase a coin's market value. Planchet flaws, including lamination defects, cracks, or impurities in the copper alloy, further enhance the coin's desirability, as they are inherently unpredictable and create truly unique specimens, adding both historical context and visual interest to each coin. The 1957 D penny, like other high-value wheat pennies, also benefits from provenance, as coins with well-documented histories, previous inclusion in notable collections, or appearances in prestigious auctions command premium prices over otherwise similar examples. Provenance provides collectors not only with assurance of authenticity but also with a narrative, connecting them to the broader story of American coinage, mint operations, and the individuals who preserve these rare coins over decades. The psychological appeal of owning such a coin cannot be overstated, as it represents not just an investment, but a connection to history, rarity, and prestige, offering collectors the unique opportunity to hold a tangible piece of the past that very few others in the world possess. The thrill of discovery, particularly when previously unknown or unusual 1957 D specimens emerge from old collections, boxes, or storage containers, adds excitement and competition to the market, driving values ever higher and reinforcing the sense that owning such a coin is akin to possessing a treasure. In examining auction histories and valuation trends, the 1957 D wheat penny demonstrates remarkable potential for appreciation, with the finest specimens achieving extraordinary prices due to a combination of condition, errors, rarity, and market demand, while coins with slightly lower grades still maintain significant value because of their historical importance and the unique narrative embedded in each example. When considering why some 1957 D pennies can command values as high as $13 million, it is essential to understand the interplay of rarity, mint errors, condition, provenance, and collector enthusiasm. Top-graded examples with significant errors, flawless surfaces, and documented histories combine all these factors, creating a coin that is not only exceptionally rare, but also historically meaningful and financially significant, making it a centerpiece for serious numismatists and investors alike. Beyond monetary considerations, the 1957 D penny also represents a remarkable artifact of post-war American history, reflecting the technological, economic, and human factors involved in minting operations. as well as the meticulous efforts of collectors who preserve and study these coins for generations. Each coin tells a story of production, survival, and discovery, with subtle differences in strike, die condition, and planchet quality contributing to a unique narrative that is studied, catalogued, and celebrated by collectors around the world. Even minor variations, such as weak strikes, die rotations, or subtle repunched mint marks, can transform an otherwise ordinary penny into a highly prized specimen, adding layers of complexity, intrigue, and value. Condition remains a paramount factor in determining market value, with mint state grades, such as MS64, MS65, or higher being rare for 1950-70 pennies due to circulation and handling over decades. Collectors invest not only money but time and expertise in locating, preserving, and authenticating these exceptional coins, understanding that the scarcity of top-grade examples drives demand and creates opportunities for significant appreciation over time. The 1957 Dewey penny also exemplifies the enduring fascination with Lincoln's iconic portrait, as coins featuring Lincoln's image on the obverse and the wheat ears on the reverse combine familiarity with extraordinary rarity when errors, exceptional preservation, and historical significance intersect, transforming the coin from a simple medium of exchange into a remarkable collectible with both cultural and financial resonance. As collectors study, catalog, and trade these coins, they participate in a dynamic market where historical context, mechanical anomalies, human error, and survival converge, highlighting the intricate and unpredictable nature of numismatics and the extraordinary potential value that can emerge from everyday objects when circumstances align perfectly. Ultimately, the 1957 D Mint Mark 1 cent wheat penny serves as a testament to the incredible stories hidden in small artifacts, demonstrating how rarity, errors, condition, provenance, and collector enthusiasm can elevate a simple penny into a multi-million-dollar treasure, inspiring generations of collectors, investors, and enthusiasts to explore, discover, and preserve the remarkable history embedded in the coins of America's past, reminding us that even the smallest objects can hold extraordinary value, fascinating narratives, and enduring significance for those who recognize and cherish their rarity and uniqueness. And as we examine the countless details, anomalies, and historical factors that contribute to its $13 million value, it becomes abundantly clear why the 1957 Dewey penny remains a pinnacle of numismatic desire, an enduring symbol of historical connection, and a rare gem that continues to captivate and inspire the global coin collecting community.